Hello, hello, hello. Hello, hello, hello. Really excited to be here with you guys. My name's Ashley Kirkwood with the Speak Your Way to Cash podcast. And today we're going to be talking about something I have not talked about a lot on the podcast, but in light of a program I just did for Speak Your Way to Cash Live attendees, the pre-event prospecting party, I wanted to talk to you guys a little bit about the power of prospecting. The power of prospecting. And if you're listening to this or you're watching this live and you're like, okay, Ashley, I have no idea what the power of prospecting is. I don't utilize prospecting in my business. It's not something that I'm doing consistently. Then lean in. Lean in. Okay. If I ask you, what did you do to prospect today or this week or this month or this quarter for your business? And you don't have anything to say, or you didn't do anything to actually prospect, then this is going to be a blessing to your life. All right. So listen in, grab your notepad. And first, let me tell you a little bit about why we're talking about this. Recently, it's come to, I've been talking to a lot of business owners or clients or speakers, and they've talked about how difficult it's been this year to sell products and services, even more so than years past, And I was talking to my copywriter today about a campaign that we're about to do because I am gearing up for my 2022 and 2023 speaking calendar. And how we help companies is we help them to communicate, to sell, and to improve the mindsets of their employees. So essentially, I'm a sales communications trainer, right? And the currency of confidence, that program is one that we give to companies to help people overcome imposter syndrome. And we start with mindset because obviously it's hard to sell if you don't have the right mindset. But one thing that I told him this morning was that consumers now are two things: savvy and skeptical. Savvy and skeptical. And because we have a lot of consumers that are savvy, they have a lot of information at their fingertips, they're able to research things on their own. That's a good thing in a lot of ways. But with more information, sometimes can come more skepticism. So the way you used to sell, the way you used to connect with consumers, if it was very easy for you, that may not be the case now. And so the key to having a very robust pipeline, to selling consistently, to ensuring that you always have clients coming in, is going to be prospecting. Prospecting. This is one element of it. Just one element of it is prospecting. One element of it is prospecting. Hello, hello. So I want to talk to you guys just a little bit today about prospecting and the power of prospecting and the importance of prospecting. Because if you understand how to prospect, how to sell to your consumers, how to find people to sell to, and when I say sell, I want you to think how to find people whose problems you can solve. If you can find those individuals and you know how to find those individuals, then you should be okay. All right. And I feel like I have to give a disclaimer because we're going to talk about prospecting, which is typically new money coming into the business. But it's really important to note that a lot of your business is going to come from the people you're already serving well, which is why you have people whose entire business model is essentially based in referrals. And I meet a lot of business owners who don't prospect at all because they're like, well, all of my business comes from referrals. And so I don't really have to do this. And my belief is that you should absolutely serve the people you're with well. You should absolutely be asking those people how you can serve them better and getting referrals and refining your process to suit them. However, dramatic pause for effect, right? However, you also want to make sure you have the skill set to prospect, to find additional business. And this could be valuable, even if you want to keep serving the same people the same way forever and it works for you. What if you add a new product to your product suite? Or what if you add a new solution, a new service to your offering? You want to be able to find people who can buy that particular thing. So, what is prospecting? Let's start there. Prospecting is the process you will use to find groups of individuals to sell to. And I'm saying groups of individuals because even if you sell to companies, you're not going to go and sell to Sony, the entity. You're going to sell to Sarah, a person who works at Sony. And so prospecting is the process you use to find individuals to sell to. individuals to sell to. I am repeating that because when you get into selling, you're selling to people. You're selling to people, which is why you'll hear a lot of people talk about relationships and why relationships are so important. The beautiful thing is you can develop a relationship through the sales process. So it's not that you have to already have all these relationships ready to go. You can develop a relationship through the sales process, how you show up, how you engage, how you interact with them. And the power of prospecting. And by the way, guys, Speak Your Way to Cash Live tickets are almost done for. Like you're very close to not being able to buy Speak Your Way to Cash Live tickets. In 4 days, we are done with the bonuses. So like these beautiful boxes that we're shipping out, we're literally starting to ship them out. We're not going to, for y'all on Instagram, these beautiful boxes, we're not shipping those out. You have to have your ticket by the end of this month. That's in 4 days in order to get all the bonuses for the event. But prospecting, I want to give that PSA. So for those of you who are like, oh, this is good information, I'm getting my pen and paper. Is she going to go too deep into it? Look, I'm going to give you guys the power of prospecting. But if you want to actually see how I prospect, the technology that I use, all that fun stuff, how to find people to sell to, how to define your market, how to assemble a 6-figure package, you need to come to Speak Your Way to Cash Live. And here's what I'll do. Right when you buy your ticket, you'll get access to Speak Your Way to Cash Live membership. And we've uploaded the replay to the pre-event prospecting party, which is where I show you my prospecting process. So I would just go in and get your ticket. The pre-event prospecting party is literally worth the cost of the ticket on its own. All right. So that's just a PSA. That's just my PSA for the day. But here's the thing about prospecting. And I know a lot of people, some of you right now, if you get all your business based on referrals, put referrals. If you get all your business based on social media posts and people just DMing you, put content. You know what? I'm going to make this even easier. If you get all your business based on referrals or social media posts or just from people calling or just from people reading your blog or anything like that, put passive. Put passive, PASSIVE. I hope I spelled that right, y'all. Put passive in the comments, right? And if you get your clients from selling, like direct messaging people, sending out cold email pitches, hosting events, anything else, anything other than that, put active in the process, in the chat, put active in the chat. That way I can kind of see what you all are doing now. Put active in the chat. Okay, great. So here's the thing with people or with companies, sometimes there's always exceptions, but one of the gaps that I see with people who come to me and they're like, I don't got to do all that. I get referrals. I have this, I have that. People just come to me. You have an inability to scale up or scale down your revenue. When it's 100% passive, you have an inability to scale up or scale down your revenue. Why is that? Because you don't determine when someone gives you a referral. Now, you can have a system for collecting referrals and you can be more active about how you collect referrals, which is something I teach and I recommend. But for the most part, if all of it's passive, then you can't scale up your revenue. You can't really scale down your revenue. You're kind of just, you're letting it happen. And sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't. But when you want to grow your business, you want to be deliberate about growing your business, you need a sales strategy. And the very start of the sales strategy is prospecting. Because without having individuals, the definition we gave for prospecting is the process by which you find individuals to sell to. Without prospecting, finding these individuals to sell to, it becomes very difficult to sell because who exactly are you selling to? You know what I mean? Like you need individuals to sell to. And if you want to make more money in your business, you need more individuals to sell to, or this is a big or you need to establish a deeper relationship with the people who are already giving you money. But here's what I see too. Some people don't want to prospect and they don't want to be active about getting referrals. So they don't want to have follow-up calls with their clients. They don't want to go and ask their clients, can they refer them anyone that could also use your services? You don't want to do anything. You kind of want it to all come to you. You want it to flow. And I guess, you know what I mean? But like, it's hard to predict flow. You know what I'm saying? So you may want to have a process by which you find individuals to sell to, by which you're actively collecting referrals, because that will give you more predictability in your revenue. And predictability in your revenue is a good thing. It's a good thing. Okay. And if you know, like, I'm swamped right now, we don't have the people in place to manage 50 new clients or something like that, then you may slow down your prospecting. You may pitch less. But the reason, in the speaking context specifically, the reason why prospecting is so important is because depending on how many individuals you have to sell to that you are reaching out to by way of hosting events, inviting them to do business with you, etc., some of the other methods we teach in Speak Your Way to Cash and that we talk about in my book, Speak Your Way to Cash, How to Start at the Top of the Market versus Working Your Way Up from the Bottom. Once you start prospecting, you find individuals to sell to, you send them information, you want to invite them to have a conversation with you, a conversion conversation. I should have put a TM here because that trademark is pending. But you want to go into conversion conversation. So the whole goal for me of prospecting when it comes to B2B selling business to business is, how do we get them from I'm reaching out to you, you may or may not know who I am, to having a conversation with myself or a member of our team, a conversion conversation. Not just talking about any and everything without a plan. A conversion conversation will entail you getting on the phone with them and leading them through a sales script or some series of questions that will help you to identify their problem and the way you can sell them, the way you can solve their problem, right? And so this is all, if you want to scale up, like you want more people, you want more clients in your system, in your funnel, whatever you want to call it, you want more clients doing business with your firm. Well, one, you need to have a prospecting process, a process by which you find individuals to sell to. Then you want to invite those individuals to have a conversion conversation with you. You won't call it that. You'll just invite them to a call to find out more about their business and see whether you have a solution that can help them. While on this call, it's 80% them talking, 20% you talking, which is critical, because if they're not talking, if they're not engaging with you, if they're not telling you what they want, then when that 20% comes, when it's time for you to lay out what solution you have for them, you won't have the language to talk to them because you don't even know what they want. And if you don't know what they want, it's going to be tougher to get them to the finish line. Like, you need to know what your client wants, how your client describes their problem, not how you want to describe, or not how you want them to view their problem, if that makes sense. So like, if I have a weight loss camp and all of my clients are talking about how they need to lose weight, they want to work out, they want to do this, that, and the other, but you believe that the key to losing weight isn't working out at all. In your solution, you still need to say, hey, I know you want to lose weight. I know you want to work out more. I know you want to do these things. However, what you really need is A, B, and C. I know you called your girlfriend last week and probably said something to the tune of, girl, I'm tired of A, B, and C. But what you really need is X, Y, and Z. Like, people have to know that you understand what they're going through before they're going to trust you with solving their problem. And what I see a lot of when coaching people in their sales strategy and their conversation and how they talk to clients is they have all these words that sound really good that they've maybe hired a copywriter to write, or they wrote themselves, which sound great, but the client doesn't know what that means. You know what I'm saying? And so if you can't use your customer's language in conversation, it's going to be very difficult to get them from going from like a prospect to a client. So if this is making sense, drop a make sense in the comment. So prospecting is the process by which you find individuals to sell to. The goal is to get them to have a conversation with you, a conversion conversation, one that's geared towards you telling them about your solution. When you have this conversation with them, I like sales scripts personally, especially if you're someone who is not used to doing a lot of sales calls. So you're like not used to talking to people. You're not used to talking to people and getting them to agree to working with you over the phone. If you're not used to that, and even if you are, it's really helpful to have a well-defined sales script, because if for whatever reason you can't do the call, you're setting a foundation that anyone else can come in and make it happen. One of the most powerful lessons I learned in business this year, or maybe it was last year, was that you have to simplify your business enough so that someone of average intelligence can work it. What I used to think is like, oh man, if I want help in my business, they need to be brilliant. They need to be this, they need to be that, they need to be the best thing since sliced bread. When the truth is, I should have processes, systems, SOPs, scripts, swipe files. I should have enough stuff so that it doesn't take a rocket scientist to come in here and make this thing work. And you need that same process, that same system, that same clarity for your prospecting and your sales calls, your sales process. So initially, I always write a sales script. I use it. Then after it works, meaning after someone from me asking those questions and me presenting a solution a few times signs a contract with us, then we can hand it off and have other people take over the sales process. So I think you should use a sales script. And then you want to track their answers and you want to learn from each and every sales call that you do, each and every conversion conversation that you have. You should be learning from it. After you have these conversations, typically there's a proposal process and all of that. And I think there's a section in the book where I talk about our 13-point process. Because it's not, it's about 13 steps from going from, I don't know who you are, Ashley, to let me sign this large speaking contract with you. We have about 13 steps, and we talk about those in the Speak Your Way to Cash book, and we'll go over that again at the event. But after this conversation, if it's a corporate client, typically we send a proposal. They view the proposal. We have another call about the proposal, and that's typically the money call. Hey, you saw it. Of the services that we offered, I know you said you found value in all of them. Are you ready to move forward? And they'll say either yes or no. And typically it's not yes or no. Typically it's like, oh, we want to move forward with everything, but is it okay if we just get started with 3 workshops and a consult versus this, that, and the other? And let's see how that goes. And then we'll do something else. So we solidify the relationship typically on a second call, which is more geared towards, you saw the proposal. Let me answer any questions you have about the proposal. Then there's a contract. Then they become a client after they sign the contract and pay the initial invoice to get that started. Now, earlier I talked about scaling up and scaling down, and I just wanted to show you guys a little bit about what that looks like. So when it comes to, all right, Ashley, why does prospecting matter? How will this help me grow my business? And someone says, literally just finished prospecting. Love it. And I mean, for those of you who are at the event, if you missed our pre-event prospecting party, we do have the recording in the portal for all of you who already bought your tickets to the Speak Your Way to Cash live event. And I actually pitch someone live via LinkedIn on the call. So that training is the bomb. And you can only get it if you come to Speak Your Way to Cash live. You can literally watch it after you get your ticket. So here's an example formula, and I hope you guys can see this. So let's say you have 5,000 people that you've sold to this quarter, right? That equals, of those 5,000 people, you booked 50 calls. 50 calls. 50 people agreed to get on the phone with you. Of those 50 calls, you were able to secure 5 contracts. Okay. So let's say that's how it went. Like you had 5,000 people that you reached out to via cold email or what have you. That converted into 50 calls. You were like, hey, if you're interested in this at all, I would love to book a call with you and learn more about your situation. Then those 5 calls converted to 5 contracts. Now, based on the amount of your services, this 5 contracts could be, it could be $1 million. It could be $50,000. It depends on how you price yourself. But once you do a campaign, like you actively reach out to a certain number of people, and then you can see of the people you asked, how many of those people booked a call, then you can track how many of those calls turned into contracts. Then you know your conversion rate. So if you wanted double the clients in your business, presumably you would double the amount of people you reach out to, double the amount of calls you have, double the amount of contracts closed. So for us, when we first started our speaking business, we tracked our numbers. So we were pitching about 300 people a week. And we knew of those 300 people, as long as, emails are right, it's the right target audience, it's the right person, we're reaching out to the right person with the right job title, etc. We knew how many calls we'd get from those calls. We'd look at the contracts. And the other thing you can look at how many contracts closed. If you go back and look at all the work you did and all that stuff, you look at the amount of contracts closed, maybe you increased your contract price so that from this same formula, you make more money, but you charge more money per contract. You provide a better solution. You make sure that they understand the value at a higher level. So there's all types of ways to do this, but it needs to be somewhat formulaic so that you can start predicting the revenue in your business when you're service based. And honestly, for corporate clients, I don't get a lot of corporate clients from ads. I don't run a lot of ads to businesses specifically. It's something we thought about trying, but I don't want to scare anyone about ads. I like ads. I've run ads in the past and I've done really well with ads, and we've, added hundreds of new customers to our client customer base with ads. But this year it was a little wonky with the ads. All right. So we were reaching out more. We invested a lot more time in LinkedIn, directly messaging people who we'd prospected, who we'd identified as the right people that we could be selling to. And in terms of some ways to identify these individuals like if I'm selling to individual business owners, I can look at all the clients we've ever worked with in the past that Speak Your Way to Cash. And what I did was I looked at the job titles of all those individuals. What do they do? You know what I mean? We've trained a lot of lawyers. We've trained a lot of accountants. We've trained a ton of therapists. I think we train more therapists than any other group. We've trained a lot of DEI consultants and experts. And so when looking at that, it's like, okay, if these are the types of people that are already doing business with me, maybe I should reach out to more of those types of people and see whether they want to do business with me. Like, what are the commonalities amongst your customers? Identify those things and then develop a prospecting plan. How are you going to reach out to them? Where do they hang out? What do they do? Go to those places, and then you want to sell to them. Then ideally you'd have a conversation with them. Now for us, we don't do a lot of sales calls when we're selling to individuals for like a lower ticket workshop, right? Not too many. We do a lot of calls for our corporate clients where the average contract value is a lot higher. That said, you can decide to do calls with anyone. What we do for individuals that are buying like our coaching programs, that are coming to Speak Your Way to Cash Live, that are listeners of the podcast, we do a lot of DMing. Like we'll DM them, we'll send voice notes, we'll do things like that. We'll give them a workshop. They can come to a Q&A, an open house, all that type of stuff. We do for sure. But for businesses, we do a lot of calls. So on the consumer side, when we're selling to individuals that are maybe smaller business owners, less than 5 employees, less than 3 employees, sometimes solopreneurs, no employees, we have a separate sales process, but it's very similar. Whether it's a DM or it's a phone call, we have to converse with them and find out what they want, or a webinar. We still have to find out what they want. And the number of people we ask will tell me how many conversations I'm going to have. The number of conversations will tell me how many clients we're going to have. And if we want more clients, then we have to do more prospecting. We have to find additional people. We have to reach out to the customers that we already have and make sure they know about it. Because the thing is, guys, it's different. You're dealing with savvy, skeptical consumers. People are very savvy, have a ton of options, but they're a little skeptical. I know I am. We just hired a bookkeeper / accountant. And I was just honest. I was like, look, you are the third person that we are hiring to keep our books and to make sure they're right. And although I love your experience and I like what you're saying now, and I think you can do the job, I will reserve my judgment until 6 months in to see if it's done right. And I'm going to have you teach me the process. And that's, I think, one step I skipped in that process was really learning how to dig into my own QuickBooks, really learning how to dig into my own financials. And for me, I believe the reason we have Speak Your Way to Cash Live, the reason we have the Speak Your Way to Cash book, the reason we have the Speak Your Way to Cash workbook and journal and all these other assets is because I want you all to know the process. Even if you decide to hire me to walk with you through the process, you need to know it for yourself, and you need to be able to make your own determinations about your business. That way, no one can ever take advantage of you, because that's a horrible feeling. Not that you need to know 100% of everything and you can never outsource, but you need to know enough to be a little dangerous out here in these streets. Okay. You definitely want to know enough to be dangerous. So that is, in a nutshell, the power of prospecting. The power of having a prospecting process is that you can scale up or scale down your client base, your customer base. And if you're having a slow period, you can go back and say, okay, these are the things I've done to bring in clients. Let me list those things out. And for all of you that already have some speaking clients or some clients in general, I would make a list of those clients or have an assistant or someone else to make a list of all those clients and then write down, where did they come from? If you find that you have one particular person that's sending you a ton of business, have a conversation with them. Hey, you've sent me a lot of business. I would love to do an appreciation event for you where me and you, where I host something private only for your audience, only for your referrals, only for your friends and family that own businesses. And I just do a Q&A just for you and your people. Like, why not? If that's where your business is coming from, the goal is to be active, to be a little bit more active in your sales process. So that way you're not sitting in the back seat like, man, I don't know what happened. I don't know why this isn't working. I don't know what's going on. The other thing is it may just take more of the same. So don't negate the fact that if you write LinkedIn articles every month and you get, 1 to 2 calls booked from those LinkedIn articles, what if you wrote more LinkedIn articles and you're like, man, I don't have time to do that? Okay, who does? Or what do you have time to do? Because typically there's a way for you to outsource that does not involve you doing everything. So if you don't have time to write the article, but you do have time to wake up every morning and look at the news sources for 10 minutes and find an article and then talk via a Loom video about your thoughts about a popular article or a popular trend and send that Loom video to someone else to transcribe and clean up, like a copywriter or a VA or someone, then that would be a great thing to do. And now you're saving time, but you're also getting things done. And so I don't want you all to think just because more needs to be done to break through, to pierce the veil of distraction that everyone has going on now, that you have to be the one doing it. But it may be that it takes a little bit more. It may be that. I know that's not good news. It'd be better to say, let me show you how to make $1 million without doing any work ever, anytime, ever on anyone's platform. You know what I mean? But I don't have that secret. If you do, please DM me. I would love that. I would love that, right? But until that comes out, or until you all tell me who has the golden ticket to doing absolutely nothing and getting absolutely everything, then it's going to take a little bit of work. Okay. And it doesn't mean you have to do it. So feel free to work smart versus working hard, and working efficient versus just putting in long hours. But you may have to scale up your efforts in some way, shape, or form. So don't be afraid to do that. But I'm hoping that this was helpful. Very quick on prospecting. This was very quick on prospecting. I just wanted to make sure you all knew, look, prospecting is the process by which you find individuals to sell to. You're going to need people to sell to. You're going to need to, the 2 ways you make more money in business: sell to additional people, have deeper relationships with the people that are already your clients who already like you and love you. That's it, right? Then you want to have conversion conversations, whether that means a sales call or a DM or something. You need to talk to people so that you know their problems and the ways to solve them. And then that will equal more clients. Then you can develop your formula after actually sending out pitches and knowing what works. And here's the other thing. If you're sending out 5,000-6,000 emails or something and no one's responding, this is a break in your system. Like, if you are sending out thousands of messages or hundreds of messages and no one's responding, no one's doing business with you, that is telling you there's an issue with the way you're connecting with people initially. So you have to fix that. You can't just ignore it. Like, just send it out to more people. Because that could, if you have a finite amount of individuals that you're going to sell to, then don't squander the opportunity to connect with these people. If it's not working, you got to fix what's broke. You can't just keep, putting more people in a bad funnel. That's not going to work. So you want to figure out what your numbers are. If you reach out to 100 people, how many of those people are likely to book a call with you or to take the next step? And then once you have those numbers down, then it's just a matter of doing more of what works, less of what doesn't, and getting some help with everything in between. So if this was interesting and you want to see how I prospect, how I get clients in my funnel, what that looks like for me, then go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event. Sign up for Speak Your Way to Cash Live. I have on my Speak Your Way to Cash Live shirt. I don't know if y'all can see it. But go and sign up for Speak Your Way to Cash Live. And then you will get access to a membership portal that'll have a recording of our pre-event prospecting party in it. that'll be active until like the event, November 4th or November 6th. It'll be active until that time. So for sure, get your ticket to Speak Your Way to Cash Live. In 4 days, all the bonuses go, they expire. Okay. So you want to make sure you get your ticket sooner rather than later. You do not want to miss this event or any of the bonuses affiliated with it. It is literally going to be outstanding. And I actually I'll try to do this. Let me see if it'll let me. I'll show you guys the venue for where we're having the event. We recently announced it. Oh, it's so much going on. Okay. So it'll be at Le Méridien Hotel. And for those of you who have asked, it is virtual and in person. So we have a few more in-person spots. We're not doing many people in person, but it really will be an incredible event. And it'll be one that will allow you to learn how to build out your 5- and 6-figure speaking offers. It'll be a good refresher for some of you on it'll be a good refresher for some of you on the sales process and writing all of your stuff out. But if you want to land large corporate speaking contracts, it literally is the best place for you to be. This is the venue. Hey guys, Ashley Kirkwood with Speak Your Way to Cash here. I am standing at the exact location of Speak Your Way to Cash Live 2021, which is where I'll be showing you how to land 5- and 6-figure corporate contracts. I want to show you the exact space where we will spend 3 days diving into the strategies and techniques that'll help you land your next large contract. Let's check out the space. Hey guys, I'm standing in the room where it's all going to go down November 4th through the 6th, 2021. Now, I want you to join me if you're a speaker, a thought leader, or anyone else looking to land large speaking contracts. And let's talk about safety. Every single person will have their own 6-foot table where they can learn safely, because I'm doing this entire event socially distanced. We rented a 3,000 square foot space to comfortably accommodate you so that you can have your own space to learn and feel safe while doing it. So I want to see you there. Join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live November 4th through the 6th if you want to land your next large contract. All right. So definitely wanted to make sure you all got that information and you saw that. So join me at speakyourwaytocash.com/event. Like, just go over there and get your ticket. We're so excited to host you and cannot wait to have you at the event. All right. So if you have any questions about the event, please let me know. Feel free to shoot me a DM. Otherwise, hopefully you all will start prospecting this week. One thing you can do today to implement this is go and make a list of all your current clients, find similarities amongst them, and start brainstorming where similar folks are located so that you can start making additional money in your business and reach your sales goals for the year. We still have 3 months, I think. Yeah, about that, if not more, a little bit more than 3 months. So, get it done. 2020, this year, 2021, 2020, 2021. So much happened, but I'm really proud of you for continuing to work on your business, for continuing to grow your business, for continuing to push through all of the challenges that have been hurled our way during all of this. And don't give up now. Like, whatever you've done for the year to date, it doesn't have to end there. Like, there's more that you can do. And if you decided you're not doing anything else this year, then be proud of yourself for surviving another year. Okay. All right. So I will talk to you guys later. Again, go to speakyourwaytocash.com/event to join me at Speak Your Way to Cash Live, and I'll see you there.